Hello everybody, what's up? It's Nico's House. And in this episode of video today, I'm gonna be posting the original work, which is called The Bug Lair. So basically, this one is like a thrilling love story. It is about revenge and some kind of complicated episodes are gonna involved in the short story. And also, I like the phrase in the last part of the story. It is like if the water lantern on the river is the only one, then to be good. It is like a riddle. It is hard to get the meaning. So I just hope you guys can enjoy it. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bug Lair. Kai is an ambitious and enterprising middle-aged guy from a less developed small city located to the middle of China. Around 10 years ago, when he was still a rash fellow, he did not follow his parents' advice and decided to join the so-called gold rush trend to hunt for work in a megacity which is located in the southeast part of China, the most developed and biggest economical center in China for the past few decades. He only took a worn-out woven bag with him when he caught a train there. He made up his mind and promised his family he was going to make himself as a big guy when he was back to his hometown. Mom, Dad, I promise that I'm gonna earn a lot of money for you, and I promise I'm gonna make your lives better, no poverty anymore. When we arrived, he suffered many harsh situations. However, he was thankful for his strong determination, smarts, and flexibility. He worked as a humble, fundamental construction worker in the beginning, and then through his unusual endurance, he climbed step by step to the position of general sales manager of the Silverseed Real Estate Agency. He made his dream come true. He also fulfilled his promise to his family members as well. For his parents, he transferred 20,000 RMB, approximately 4,000 Canadian dollars, to their account monthly, and also paid the tuition fee and cost of living for his younger brother and his younger female cousin. His younger brother decided to study architecture in the USA after he gets his bachelor degree. Kai made a wish for him, and he will continue to support him to fulfill his aspiration unconditionally. Kai is not the kind of typical rural guy who only knows work as a diligent brigade. He is a workaholic and at the same time, a hedonist as well. For such a successful young lad with promising prospects like him, he had already purchased his own property in the megacity, and also developed quite a unique taste in clothes, shoes and other belongings and luxurious consumables. He has such a deep insight into the local people's worldly ways of dealing their business, and their picky attitude for any other outsiders that don't belong to their social circle. They may judge you by the way you dress and your appearance. For this reason, Kai knows very well how to make himself as decent as the locals. He warns himself to always be alert of his own customers' picky desires, to be sharp and bright and develop a long-term view for all of these related factors. There is no business that he cannot handle. There are no women who he cannot conquer. When it comes to women, Kai is definitely a lecher for beautiful women. He is an uninhibited guy who won't be constrained by any specific lady. Concerning marriage and family, he prefers to pleasure some so-called undoubtedly ladies. He wenches for those sanctimonious women from illustrious families to satisfy his undetectable inferiority complex. Now, he has built up the web for a business hub, and found his own position among various sophisticated individuals in the city. Indeed, he is like the wild charger at this moment. However, everything seems to be going smoothly, probably too smoothly to him. Nobody could predict what would go on in the next show until the curtain opened. "You are so bad," a faint female voice breaks the silence in the air, and it feels like a piece of oversweetened cheesecake. It disperses in the humid, sticky early summer air. Her name was Yu. Her fair, smooth skin, well-built sexy figure and delicate eyes, as well as her rosy soft lips, expressed an indescribable sweetness and indifference. She is the adopted daughter of Mr. Zhao, the CEO of the AOK Consortium. Kai got to know the charming lady through a mutual friend of Mr. Zhao and him. She represented a fresh and pure image the first time that Kai encountered her. When talking about the female's nature, Kai had his own unique philosophy on this issue. There's no women could be as pure as a fairy maiden when they face the temptation of luxurious material life. The pure, flawless beauty of women are built on a variety of high-class beauty care products, cosmetics and extravagant clothing and other accessories that made them more artificial. It was not really a cerebral puzzle to judge a woman's natural beauty or not. Kai just needed to sense how much laudable charisma still remained on any lady's makeup-removed face when they were on stage at 25 years old. Although he had dated a lot of different types of women, he had regrettably not found any who could cater to his standard of beauty so far until you stepped into his life. She was an exceptional case, not be the prettiest women who Kai had had sex with, but there was still something mysterious, a cat-like charm to her that attracted Kai. Besides, she was not the kind of woman that Kai could control and dominate only by the power of money or sweet pillow talk. For him, you redefined charm and attraction. There was always a sort of natural coolness from her bones which made Kai stagger by both the sense of possessing her and the fear of losing her. It is a special gift for you. Kai opens a magnificent box with a well-known brand logo in front of you. A diamante platinum bracelet with gleaming luster is imprinted into Yu's hazel eyes. Come and try it on, my love. Kai helps you to put it on her smooth, pale wrist. Yu sits naked part way up in the bed. Her long fragrant hair is messy, and she dials it to the side of her left breast. This unintentional action makes her obtain a graceful sense of femininity. The resplendent bracelet reflects Yu's calmness, and she seems a flawless ivory sculpture. Am I beautiful? Absolutely. Especially at this moment, you are the most beautiful woman in the world, which means that I was not good looking before. My baby, you've always been beautiful to me, but now you are more charming. Kai, you are really a sweet talker. Come, tell me, how many women were cheated by your sweet words? My kitten, my adorable little princess, you are my only one. I swear. Kai, she lays her head on Kai's chest and plays with his chest hairs. Kai lights a cigarette almost every time after he had sex with women. He needed this after-sex cigarette to cool his mind down. Hey, you, my baby, I think it's kind of late. You need to take shower now. Huh, I just know that you want to drive me away now. Please don't tell me you treat me like a, You totally misunderstood me. I don't want your father suspecting our relationship, and he does not know that we are dating. It's gonna affect our business. Then why don't you propose to me in front of my father? I'm tired of playing the hide-and-seek game with you. It makes me feel that you don't really love me. Why do you think like that? My silly little baby. Kai passionately French kisses you and ends the dialogue in a tricky, romantic way. They have sex again. When you refined her makeup with lipstick after she dressed, her tone suddenly became half serious. I know there is someone else in your heart besides me. Kai, you are too greedy with love. Sometimes I want to drill a hole in your heart and move in. I promise I will stand in front of the door of your heart to prevent other women getting in. The words that jumped out of her lips are gentle. It feels like she is murmuring something to herself. It is as light as a piece of eiderdown falling on a shallow purple dream. What did you say? Kai doesn't grasp the words very clearly from you. He treats them like he does any woman's tiny, selfish desire to their beloved man. There is no need to treat it seriously. You dabs perfume to her pit of neck and the back of her ears. The mysterious aroma floats through the air. She pours gin for Kai, a piece of lime and 2 ice cubes, and in the goblet she places a tiny icy blue ball. What's this? Kai asks. You gave me such a precious present. Equivalently, I'm gonna give you an important gift as well. It's my love for you. You responds with a naughty expression on her face, just like an innocent little girl. Don't you accept my love, my sugar? Of course I do. Kai drinks the last drop from the goblet. The tiny blue ball slides into his mouth. It tastes a little sweet and a little bitter with a mint-like flavor. It's just a mint candy. Kai thinks, I hope you're satisfied. I've got the love from you now. Kai displays the little blue ball on the tip of his tongue and makes a face to you, then swallows it. It's so good, Yu whispers. Is that just Kai's psychological effect? He notices there is an unspeakable sadness on Yu's smiling face. After Yu leaves, Kai turns on TV. He watches a boxing match for a while, then feels his eyelids become heavy as lead. He goes to sleep earlier this night. In his semi-consciousness, he is stirred and awoken by the noise of the TV. He opens his sleepy eyes and notices a creepy, strange bug with a body covered with countless legs sliding into his bedroom. It does not look like a centipede or diploid, it's something unknown to Kai. The way it moves seems to be something intellectual, as if planning which next step it will move forward. Finally, it stops in front of Kai's bed. Shit, you fucking disgusting bug. Don't you know you got the wrong way to your grandpa? Kai crushes it into muddy flesh with his slipper. When he lifts it, he does not expect a pregnant female bug. It's so strange. The twisting little things that burst out of her smashed body are all hatched and larva-shaped just like her. They are not ovum. It's so unusual. Kai feels a little sick over this. He grabs some tissue and wipes the disgusting stuff off his slipper and throws it into closed stool, then flushes it away. For the rest of the night, he tosses and turns in bed. He cannot sleep. After work the following evening, he calls Jen's mobile at around 7 p.m. Baby, please come over to my apartment tonight, okay? I miss you. Hey, look at you. Kai, what have you been doing lately? I thought you had already forgotten about me. How come? My sweetie, I only care about you. You are my only one. That night, after Kai and Jen enjoyed some pizza and beefsteak, they had sex like two leopards. Kai gives Jen countless, hot, wet kisses to stir her passion. She also does not hesitate to share a most original hunger of sex. They are just like two leaves trying to burn themselves into ash with their passion, with no regrets. Jen shouts suddenly, then covers her mouth with her spindly, well-shaped fingers. What happened? Kai asked with impatient anger. He is close to orgasm, and breathes heavily. There's something in your mouth. It's bitter and it stabbed me. Are you crazy? Bullshit. Jen picks out a bug's leg from her mouth as if removing a piece of fish bone. She is so scared by this stuff. She spits and dashes into the restroom to clean her mouth. Kai could hear her cough loudly. Wow, Kai could sense there was indeed something inside of his mouth. He coughs a little. There's something coming out. It feels like some dry rice straws getting stuck in his throat. It's burning there. Kai cannot help but vomit like crazy. Holy cow. There are so many bug legs rushing out along with his spew and gastric juices that they float on the surface of the puke. Kai lays in bed with bloodshot eyes, weak and exhausted. Jen comes back from the bathroom, and once she witnesses such a scene she screams and rushes out of Kai's apartment. Ring ring. There's an incoming call on Kai's mobile. It's from you. Hello, Kai, what are you doing now? Her words are like a needle stabbing into Kai's heart. Nothing special. You, just watching TV and looking for something on the net, something like that. Kai stammered. You know, Kai, I'm thinking, you says gently. About what? I am thinking about how to cure a man's disloyalty when it comes to love. I don't understand. What are you talking about, you? Since the ancient time, all men got a contagious disease which made them unfaithful. I know there is only one antidote to cure it. I need to drill countless holes in the patient's heart and leave no space for dirty desires. You, please don't make up stories now. I don't feel good. I'm gonna call back later, okay? Kai, when there is only one water lantern in the river, that will be good. Such a mysterious riddle. She hangs up the mobile. Kai is so confused and upset after that. He was like a messed up ball of yarn where the end could not be found. Kai called Yu's mobile several times, but there was only strange noise on the phone. More seriously, when he was fucking around with other women, there was acupuncture-like pain in his heart again and again, and he vomited the mixture of bug legs and gastric liquid repeatedly. As time went by, there were no any women who dared to have fun with him anymore. Kai tried again to contact Yu. However, Yu's mobile must have been switched off. Not available, not available. Kai was the kind of guy who had strong will, and once he decided to find out the truth, he would never give up. Occasionally, he got work with huge pay cooperating with AOK Consortium, which was Mr. Zao's company. At a celebration banquet, Kai tried to have some wine with Mr. Zhao when the old guy was almost drunk. He had set up the whole thing up to get all the background information about you. Indeed, there were just few things he did know about you. Mr. Zhao told him that you went to Cuba for a vacation, and he narrates something about the mysterious lady. The story is like this. When Mr. Zhao was younger, he failed to invest into a steel project and almost lost all of his property. At the same time, he became extremely depressed. He thought about his cousin, who was a rich guy working on his mining exploration business, and this one was Yu's father-in-law. His name was Dong. He was pretty helpful and sympathetic guy. He accepted Mr. Zhao's request to borrow money instantly. Because of the huge amount of money, Mr. Zhao was able to save his company from the darkness of hell and start to re-establish his business step by step to the point where it finally formed as the transnational group, AOK Consortium. Their business covered the Southeast Asian countries, China and most of the European countries. It was unexpected when Mr. Dong, his wife and Yu drove to Thailand to spend their vacation that a terrible traffic accident which led to Mr. Dong and his wife being killed in a crash. The driver of the fully loaded truck drove overnight and the uncontrolled truck hit head-on. Dong and Yu's mother died on the spot. Yu was sitting in the back seat and was the only one to survive that disaster. After this, Mr. Zhao got the news and adopted Yu without hesitation. He provided as much as possible for her material support and spiritual care during the process of her growth. However, there's one thing that I knew. Yu was not my cousin's daughter-in-law either. Mr. Zhao says in husky voice as he smokes a cigarette. What? Is this for real? Kai is shocked. Yes, indeed. My cousin told me one time that his wife was an infertile, and they had put in a lot of effort to create their own baby, but it always ended with failure. For that reason, they contacted an intermediary to adopt Yu from a remote Miao minority tribe. It was said when there was a small blue tumor on Yu's wrist when she was born, the chief of Miao minority thought it was a symbol of something sinister. The tribe in the mountainous areas tended to be fond of male descendants, due to the fact that they can carry out heavy physical labor for them, so they decided to give custody to Mr. Dong and his wife. On Yu's 5th birthday, there was a strange accident in the tribe and that was the most blasting news at the time. There were nearly 70 people in the tribe who died without any sign of struggling. Therefore, the National Department of Police and Department of Hygiene established a specialized investigation team for this case. It was highly suspected, at first, that revenge from the other tribes was the cause, but with careful study and investigation, the experts rejected this assumption. It was uncanny noticing the scene when the experts arrived to the site of the action. The stream was running peacefully and gently. The greenish bamboo that was planted around the residents' tilted buildings was swinging with the warm late afternoon breeze. There was a wooden bucket that hung silently on the derrick above an ancient well. Such a fictitious land of peace. According to the investigation, it was lunchtime for the local residents. The tasty-looking dishes were placed on their dinner tables. The homemade sweet wine was poured into the hosts' carafes. There were half-finished homework notebooks for the kids laying on their writing desks. The half-weaved needleworks were placed into the female host bamboo baskets. Each individual had just died in such a peaceful atmosphere. There were no ferocious or pained expressions on their faces. It seemed like all of them were in deep sleep. With the memoirs of experts who handled this investigation, the location of the incident felt like the end of the world, which gave them all a strange chill on their backs. It was such a despairing, deathly silence that none had ever encountered before. There was no obvious trauma to the bodies except for some dried blood streaks from their nostrils. Some experts suspected it was poisoning. However, when the water quality lab technician arrived on location and analyzed the toxicity of the water, there was no abnormal readings. After the final autopsy reports were published, the results shocked every expert. There were countless holes drilled in each victim's heart. The histological section test and parasitic ovum cultivation test were performed, and somehow, nothing suspicious was found. It became an unsolved mystery, a case without clues. For that reason, the location was blocked off, and the unexposed truth was covered by the dust of time. The bug's nest, the word jumps out of Kai's mind. So many coincidences had happened around the mysterious women. Yu, such a graceful and isolated lady, was always beside him. The unrevealed background story about her was like a fuzzy illusion of a moon floating on the surface of black water, so unreal. Where is she from exactly? Where is she now? The fake smile on her beautiful face, cold like moonlight, really confused Kai. She had just disappeared like that. There was no trip to Cuba, and she deceived her adopted father. Once again, she discarded everything about herself, disappearing without a trace. Kai, if there is only one water lantern in the river, that will be good. The last words from Yu were like a magical chorus that echoed repeatedly in Kai's eardrum. Yu, where are you now?